Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching this month's Fish Prevent video. I've got a few guests with me today, Terry, who is one of our SOC analysts and Cloud Ops coordinator, and Trevor, who is our Director of Security. On this month's Fish Prevent video, we'll be discussing a breach that happened to one of our clients, and we'll be hearing from Terry, who was the SOC analyst who caught and investigated the attack, and from Trevor to give us some information on these sorts of attacks. Recently, we had one of our clients' CEO account get breached, but with Fish Prevent, we were able to catch it within 24 hours and also caught it within two different aspects of Fish Prevent. Terry, since you were the one who caught and investigated the breach, can you tell us how you caught it and what sort of actions you took when investigating?
Yes, Emily, I can. So originally, we got an alert from our system saying that someone had signed in from a first-time location outside of the United States. As we were investigating that, we actually had a user at the said company that reported an email that came from that email address that they received, and they marked that it looked like they didn't look like the sender wasn't who they thought they were. So I took a look and could see that what the sender was asking for was definitely not something that an internal email would be asking for. At that time, I went ahead and sent the information over to their internal IT and asked them to take a look at their Outlook account to reset the password and see if there was any email rules that had been created within that specific user's Outlook. And when in fact they took a look, that there had been a bunch of rules created. Those rules consisted of any incoming emails were rerouted away from the inbox so that the user that was using the inbox had no idea that it was going on hidden within their Outlook.
Hmm.
At that
Wow,
time afterwards, yeah, we definitely packaged it up and sent it on over to be higher analyzed to Trevor.
that's really scary, a CEO getting compromised like that. Trevor, can you tell us how these types of breaches can happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, we see a lot of breaches out there and a lot of security incidents where people will impersonate important people at a company like the CIO or other VIPs. And often they're impersonating them by sending an email that appears to be from them and using an address that exists completely outside of the organization. So from an AOL.com address or a different type of personal email address, we'll see people trying to impersonate a CEO or other people. The other way they'll do it is by actually gaining access to someone's account and using their actual account to send these malicious emails. And they'll gain access to the account usually through phishing, through sending fake emails that lure the user to a login page where they enter their username and password that then the attacker now has and can use to log into their email accounts. Sometimes they come in through other means, like maybe social media. We've seen cases where CEOs and VIPs of companies have been contacted on social media by attackers and people out looking to do malicious things. So that there's lots of different ways that they can potentially trick the person into giving up access to their email account.
Hmm. So what sort of damage can they do if they breach the account?
Yeah, so the biggest thing we see is financial losses, is money actually being stolen. We've seen that happen, unfortunately, with our clients in a number of different ways, through asking for wire transfers that shouldn't have been made, or modifying the information, account information on legitimate wire transfers, or asking for account number changes, sending fake invoices. There's a number of different ways that all ultimately result in money being sent to someone other than the intended recipient.
Yeah. So, can you tell us what can a user do to protect themselves against these sorts of attacks?
Yeah, so there's a number of different controls that can be put in place and things that can be done to try to prevent, detect, and block these types of attacks from happening. And not there isn't any one control that is perfectly effective. So to really mitigate the risk of this, it requires using a multi-pronged approach and doing multiple things. The first one is blocking malicious emails using traditional spam filter technology. That will block a lot of things, but not everything, as the people who are sending these emails are usually one step ahead of those spam filters. Also, training end users on what to look for, on what types of suspicious things to try to identify in email messages, and then when to report those emails and how to report them.
Hmm.
And then obviously having someone appropriately responding to those end user reports, reviewing logs, reviewing activity to make sure that those reports are being followed up on appropriately. Then having proper authentication policies in place to enforce and require multi-factor authentication when logging into email accounts, and ideally blocking logins from suspicious locations and certain suspicious types of protocols that are being used to access email. Those can be blocked. And then, of course, monitoring the actual logins into the system. So setting up alerts and policies to notify us or IT if someone logs in from a suspicious place or an unusual location, unusual device, or any type of unusual activity that can be alerted on.
That is a lot of great information, Trevor. I'm glad we were able to catch this breach in time with PhishPrevent. This really could have compromised the entire organization. Let's just remember, no matter what is going on in the world, email security is still very important. Cyber criminals will not stop trying to breach your account, so you make sure to use your report phishing button anytime you're unsure of any email. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on next month's PhishPrevent video.